Hi there, this is Steve Spurrier. You can join University of Florida Hall of Famer Shane Matthews and also the two-time SEC Player of the Year every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about the Florida Gators, including news, analysis, opinions, and some of the biggest names in sports. You can find him on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Or you can watch him live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter.
Good morning. Welcome to a Friday edition of Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. It's Friday. We got our Peachland Dental picks, JC and myself. We'll have Jimmy Hyams from up in Knoxville get his thoughts on the Vols. We know Knoxville and Neyland Stadium will be ready to roll when the Gators roll into town. If you missed it last night, the Browns beat the Steelers. Coastal Carolina handles Georgia State. And West Virginia beats Virginia. Who is the Virginia? By the way, JC, good morning. You're on the Titan More hotline.
Yeah, good morning.
I kind of flipped through the channels. I had so much going on last night. I didn't watch a lot of football. But who is the coach for Virginia Tech?
Never heard of him. And I couldn't tell you. I heard his name, and I already forgot. He was a guy who was an assistant, I think, at one of the schools up north in the northeast part of the country. I mean, I could look him up, but he was really a name that nobody had been talking about for sure. They look so bad. I don't know. I don't know why football's so hard for Virginia Tech. It used to not be.
Yeah, it's bad. So we got a big weekend. Did you watch any of the NFL game?
Yeah, I did watch some of that Pittsburgh-Cleveland game, and again, Pittsburgh struggles with the offense. I don't know if Trubisky's the answer. He may be, but I think Cleveland is a team that should easily be 3-0 right now, and that's pretty good considering that, you know, Jacoby Brissett, who's not a bad NFL quarterback, really, honestly. Mm-hmm. He's a manageable guy. He can get you in the end zone. I liked Cleveland. Yeah. Did you like the game? Did you watch any of it?
I probably saw two series.
Yeah, it wasn't much. You didn't miss much. It was a hard-hitting defensive game. Cleveland ran the football. That's what they do well. And Chubb and Hunt were a little too much for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh just can't score. Trubisky is not. I think Kenny Pickett will get the nod here soon. And if you look at Pittsburgh's schedule going forward, it's going to be difficult for them to stay 500. It really will. They play some really difficult teams coming up, and I think you're going to see Kenny Pickett before the end of October.
You're probably right. You're probably right with that. I'm trying to pull up Facebook. I don't know what's going on here.
Well, you're up in the Smoky Mountains, dude. I
know. We don't have great signal in the Smokies.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you a couple things that I came across while you're doing your work there. You know, this game tomorrow where you're going to be at 3:30 on CBS is something I think that, you know, it used to be great rivalry, right? And Florida, I don't know if you knew this, and you probably did know it, but as a number, Florida is 16-1 against Tennessee in the last 17 years.
JC, they've only won 6 games since Steve Spurrier became the coach.
Yeah,
think about that.
It's incredible. It really is.
They won 6 times. They won 6 times since 1990, and probably 4 or 5 of those wins were in the 90s because, dude, they were loaded.
Yeah, they were good in the 90s.
With NFL players.
But gosh, that was a long time ago, QB. And this is the largest line on a game for Tennessee over Florida in 40 years. 40.
Wow.
So that this game reminds me of what happened in 1995 when Alabama was pushing Tennessee around, and then some guy named Peyton Manning played for Tennessee, first time out against Alabama. And in the second half, he threw a ball to Joey Kent, and the route was on because Joey Kent went to the house, and Tennessee beat Alabama in 1995. And I have a bad feeling we're going to look at something like that on Saturday. I really don't like Florida's opportunity here. I don't think it's going to be close, actually.
Yeah, we shall see. But we got a text here from Alan up in Atlanta, and he did some homework for me. For all the people that want to sync the game up on the radio to your TV, you go to syncmygame.com, and basically he says it's not as fancy as you think. It just boils down to you pause your live TV until the radio catches up, and then press play. So there you have it. Andy asked here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Metal Law. Shane, is the playbook locked in whereby Billy wouldn't even consider having Trevor or Montrell on the field at the same time? I think they've been on the field at the same time a couple of plays, I believe. I'm anxious to see what we try to do. I mean, I had some text or comments on, we're all of these different platforms, JC, because you're worldwide.
No question.
On YouTube.
Yeah.
So these people commented, I guess it's yesterday's show.
Okay.
This dude here says, Shane is wrong. The object of playing quarterback is to move the ball. Just ask Charlie Ward. He wasn't good at throwing the football. Well, I'm going to have to disagree because Charlie Ward threw the ball pretty damn well.
Well, I was a Heisman voter, and he was my Heisman Trophy winner that year I voted.
Yeah. This fella says
Eric Rhett was third, by the way. Eric Rhett was my third place guy.
ABC Kids is his handle. He says Billy Napier's not trying to win the game. He's trying to develop a system and make players play in his system. He thinks once he does that, then he will win the games. Fans better be patient. Okay.
Well, look,
that might be one of the silliest comments I've ever heard. He ain't trying to win the game.
Boy, this must have been some sort of show you had yesterday that I missed. That's all I can tell you.
No, my show yesterday was all about, everybody has the answers that what we have to do to get Anthony Richardson going. And we got to get him some runs. We got to design these runs. And I basically said, timeout. Take Anthony Richardson, take the Gator helmet, whether it's Alabama, the Pittsburgh Steelers, any football team in America. How many people sit there and talk about we got to design running plays for our quarterback? I mean, think about that.
Yeah. I usually like to give the running backs the ball to run.
Well, because what I said was quarterback needs just throw completions. You're the leader of the team, and I wasn't picking on Anthony. I'm just saying it doesn't matter what. I just don't know anybody that sits here and let's say, man, how can we scheme up some runs? But anyway.
What frustrates you the most, I think, gathering from the last 2 weeks, and certainly one of the things that bothers me, is that when guys are open, at least try to hit them 50% of the time,
Yeah.
I mean, when dudes are open, you've got to get them the ball. I mean, they're running good routes. They are open. There are plenty of players. The problem is, QB, a lot of times people, they watch a quarterback, he drops back, and they're missing everything behind the defense because they watch it that way, and there are guys standing there ready for the ball or running a route that should be properly executed with a good pass. And so that's not what we've seen the last 2 weeks. Obviously, confidence is hurt, and then we have problems. And that's what's going to happen.
Well, here's the biggest issue in this entire game. Everybody wants to talk about what's wrong with Anthony. We have zero chance in this football game if we can't slow their offense down.
Well,
I mean, the front seven concerns me. I say it every day on this show, and it really concerns me in this game. Listen to this tweet. It was a tweet from Etienne's mom. Okay, I guess she was on Twitter. I don't think she's on Twitter anymore. She goes, y'all kill me in these groups on Twitter. Are y'all going to let Napier coach or what? Y'all complain about everything he does. I've never been a part of a program that doesn't support anything, just whining and crying about what's not right. I will exit now because I don't need this negativity nowhere in my spirit. Thanks, but no thanks. And I'm not mad about my son. I'm disappointed in y'all's lack of support.
Well,
good for her.
Mean, she's killing the fans. I get it. But QB football. Well, look, I understand. I mean, everybody's wanting better things. They are 2-1 though. Okay, they are 2-1. And
but what everybody and not everybody's an expert. Even the people that are so-called experts in the all season that have magazines and have shows and things of that nature.
Yeah,
they all said this team's going to win 7 games.
Right. So did we.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
well, okay. After the Utah game, only thing I want to clear up is that I said the culture is beginning to change in Florida, and you're gonna like what you see as you go in the next couple of seasons. Be patient. understand that some games aren't going to be pretty, maybe, but you might win one or two that maybe you didn't think you could. And I think the Utah game was included in that. I think it's somewhat fantasy to think they're going to win 9 games with this schedule, unless something dramatically changes that I just don't see right yet. And maybe it could happen Saturday, but I'm telling you, Tennessee's defense is a lot better. This is a game they've been waiting on. It's going to be a very hostile place to play. It's going to be very difficult.
We got a text here on the Titan Mar text line. Comes from while we're up here in the Smoky Mountains, getting ready, prepared for tomorrow. Chris says, this game works out perfect for AR. Nobody expects him to play well or win the game. No pressure. Right. He may just play loose and surprise some people tomorrow.
He might. That's true.
He could. You know what? Here's what I would do. Everybody has the answers, right, JC?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we talked about.
I would start Jalen Kitna.
Would you?
Well, why not? Okay, he goes in there. Maybe he completes some balls. We drive. We run it right down our throat. He goes 3 for 3 for 36 yards. We score. Yeah. Then bring AR off the bench. Because maybe that alleviates some of the pressure, or just I don't want to say pressure, but you know what I'm saying.
I do know what you're saying, but man, as a coach, let's say you're the coach and your boy Kitna does something like that, are you actually going to pull him off the field?
No. I'll not if he scores a touchdown.
Well, it's
drives him down. But I'm just saying, I feel like it may be better for him to maybe not start the game, but come off the bench. But the biggest issue for starting Kitna would be Tennessee ain't going to expect it.
Okay. No.
But it ain't. I'm just throwing out, since we all have the answers.
Sure. Here's the answer. How about this answer? When Tennessee over pursues on defense, hitting a guy that's wide open on a screen, or doing something like that gets the ball downfield and get the ball into the hands of Johnson and Etienne. How about that play? Anybody like that play?
Yeah, we have a good friend of ours that played a long time professionally. He thinks we need to play the Kentucky Wildcats, Lynn Bowden, where they took the receiver and put him at quarterback.
Right. Okay. Hey, I don't know what they worked on this week in practice, QB. I don't think anybody truly does, but I'm sure it's something to give them some sort of chance to be successful. I'd like to think that. But the one thing in this game that I think we're going to see different than what we saw last year and the year before and the year before and the year before is that Tennessee is actually, I think, very much better on defense. And defensively, they have improved dramatically, I think. So,
yeah, I'm anxious to see if they can stop the run. I think we can run the ball on them. Are you in the market to buy or sell your home? Doreen Weeby, a realtor with Caldwell Banker, M.M. Parrish, will provide you with fast, friendly, reliable service. Call her today at 352-562-1411 to help your dreams come true. Speaking with JC on the Titan Mar hotline, we're going to have Jimmy Hyams from up in Knoxville get his thoughts on what's going on with the balls. Text on the Titan Mar text line. Tennessee's defense hasn't done anything this year. The best offense they played was a Pitt team that lost their starting quarterback. Tennessee's not good on defense. They're not great. They're better than they were last year. I do know that.
Completely disagree with that. I mean, I watched that Pittsburgh game. That was more aggressive defense than they've had in 10 years. They've got better players on defense, dude. You'll see on Saturday.
They may be down their 2 best wide receivers for this game.
Yeah.
I think they're both game. I think one is suspended for the first half. The other one, their best receiver, Cedric Tillman, is injured. I don't know if he's going to play or not. We shall see.
Okay. Well, Tillman is questionable with a, quote, lower body injury. But other than that, injury-wise, they're okay. Yeah.
Well, JC, before we get to our Peachland Dentistry weekend picks, we're going to do our This Day in Sports, which is brought to you by Comfort Temp. Comfort is our business. Peace of mind is our promise. Beat the summer heat. Schedule your air conditioners tune up today. Give Comfort Temp a call, 352-376-2366. 2018, the Tour Championship at East Lake. Tiger wins by 2 strokes over Billy Horschel. And it was Tiger's first in 5 years, won $10 million. Speaking of that, did you watch any of the President's Cup yesterday?
I did not. I
didn't either.
I played golf. Nobody knew it was on. Not one person talked about the President's Cup. In fact, at the golf course, it wasn't even on that I played at. Now, it was a Muni, but they got TVs there. So I didn't see it.
Yeah, well, I think we dominated yesterday, but
Yeah.
it just I have a hard time getting into golf during football
Not right
season.
now. Not right now. 100%. It doesn't for me start until after the new year when they're out in Kapalua. Okay, that's when it starts for me. And it doesn't really even start then because they're not in Florida until I guess a month or so after that. So they go through California.
Right. So here's an update on their injury situation.
Mm-hmm.
Where did it go here? Andy says Callaway's out of first half because he punched a Kent State player like 5 times.
Yeah.
And then Sherry says on Facebook Live, Tillman's injury is huge, JC. Don't sugarcoat it.
Well, I said he's questionable. I didn't say he was definite. But, yeah, no, I mean, you lose your best receiver, sure. Tennessee's going to be able to throw the football. That's what they do. And yeah.
Yeah.
They'll move.
Ventrell Miller is a game time decision. It's all up to him whether he can handle the pain or whatever and play.
Yeah.
We got a text here on the Titan More text line. They want to know why JC's wearing a Gophers hat today.
Well, that's my team of the week, and they're 3-0, and PJ's got it moving pretty good up there, and their quarterback is a kid named Jordan Tanner, whose 70% completion ratio is one of the highest in the country. And
that's not his name.
Jordan Tanner's not his name?
I don't think it is.
I think it is. No. But he's completed 70%.
I'm going to look it up.
Okay,
it doesn't sound right.
I'll give you another name, Mohammed Ibrahim.
Yeah, he blew his knee out last year. He's a good tailback.
He's a good player. He's 200-yard rusher last week. Look, I got to pull for somebody in the Big Ten West, right, to give Ohio State a game in Indianapolis. Maybe it's Minnesota. So I'm going to go with the Gophers. They're going to be on our picks contest this week. And QB, I'm going to do one other thing in the picks contest that I haven't done and give you my 3 platinum plays, as I call it.
His name is, what did you call that quarterback's name?
It's not Jordan Tanner.
Jordan Tanner. You're close. His name is Tanner Morgan.
All right.
I was like, I've never heard of this guy.
I'm sorry. Well,
he has been playing quarterback at Minnesota for about 10 years, by the way.
20 years. Yes, right. So I'm sorry. Jordan Tanner. Jesus. All right. Tanner Morgan. Excuse me. I mean, I'm wearing the hat. But he has completed 70% of his passes to this point. Now, granted, they have not played very good competition, but it's still football. They're 3-0. They scored a lot of points, and they're a favorite this weekend at Michigan State. You want to start the picks contest with that game?
Yeah. But real quick, we just got a text on the Titan More text line from Frank, and I'm not sure. Like I said, I was so busy doing multiple things yesterday.
Okay.
I didn't really dive into sports.
All
says
right.
JC being a Celtics fan when they win. When they win, what is your opinion?
I've always loved them.
What is your opinion on their coach being suspended for 1 year? What happened?
My opinion is that the coach's personal life is nobody's business. However, this indiscretion came with an employee of the organization. So that is their rule. And their rule is you have an inappropriate relationship with an employee in the organization, you're suspended for a year. Now, if he was committing
he married?
Yeah, well, I think he's got another relationship.
Okay, so let me ask you. So he's suspended for 1 year. Does that mean after a year he's going to be their coach again?
I guess maybe it'll give him a year to think about it. That's just the rule. That's just the Celtics rule. So
I
think it'll hurt. It'll hurt them. It will because he's done a great job coaching. But he had an impermissible relationship with another employee of the organization. So that's just how they do it. I mean, some organizations don't care if you have relationships with other people in the organization. This one does. So that's why he is out for a year. We've got about 12 minutes, QB. You want to get on this?
Yes. Let's do our Peachland Dentistry. Okay. Gator Nation's number one choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte surrounding areas. It's time for the JC's and QB's picks.
Well, I mean, we can take as long as you want. I just know you have another guest coming on.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's start with that Minnesota game. They are undefeated, laying 3 at Michigan State, who took a pretty good beating in Seattle last week. Who do you like there?
I like the Spartans at home.
Okay, that's a good pick. I'm going to take Minnesota, obviously.
And what is the line?
3. It's -3.
Okay.
Minnesota is laying 3. Clemson is laying 7 at Wake Forest.
Boy, I'm going to take the Demon Deeks. I don't know if they're going to win the game. Maybe they can click. They're going to score, so I'm going to take the Deeks.
Oh, it's a good offense versus defense matchup there. Duke is
Who did you take?
Oh, I beg your pardon. I took Wake as well. Yeah.
All right.
Duke is getting 7. Both teams are 3-0, and this is Kansas I'm talking about. Duke and Kansas. The Jayhawks are running up the score on everybody. I love the Jayhawks laying 7. Give me Jayhawks.
I'm gonna take Kansas too.
Yeah, I mean they are just quite a story. Here's a game. Notre Dame is in the ACC this week, playing North Carolina and catching 2 points as an underdog at Chapel Hill. I think Notre Dame offense is pathetic. I think North Carolina will score. North Carolina's defense is pathetic, but Notre Dame still has problems scoring. Give me Carolina laying the 2. I love Carolina in this game.
I love Drake May, their quarterback. I think he leads the nation in about every category there is. I like Carolina too. They can't stop anybody, but they can outscore them.
Here's a game that you might be surprised at that I'm going to take, but USC is on the road this week. They're undefeated. Great offense. Caleb Williams doing great things. Addison doing great things. Transfer from Pittsburgh. USC is laying 5.5 at Oregon State. The Beavers can wreck your life late in Corvallis, and that's my upset. I'm taking Oregon State outright winner at home.
I've heard a bunch of people pick that. I don't care. I'm going to go with the better offense, the dude that can throw the heck out of the football.
Yeah,
I like the Trojans. Real quick, we got a Facebook Live here.
Okay.
This is from Scotty. He says, Florida Gators fan here from Kansas City, but I'm going to be at the KU Duke game tomorrow.
All right. I love the fact that Kansas, in playing in maybe one of the worst stadiums in the country, is going to fill that place up. I would just wish they'd take that running track out, but they're going to fill up that stadium. I love Lance Leipold. They raised him. I don't know if he'll last there at Kansas. Somebody will try to scoop him up, but Kansas is one of my other favorite underdog teams. A team that went 2-10 last year and is 3-0, and everybody's talking about them. Good for you. Thank you for that message. Here's a game that, again, this is 2 big names, but this is a lopsided line. It's Wisconsin getting 18.5 at Ohio State. 18.
I will take the Buckeyes in Blowout City.
Okay, I'm with you there. All right, go to the SEC. First game is in Tuscaloosa. Vanderbilt catching 41 points with their dual threat quarterback, QE.
No, he doesn't play anymore. They got a pocket passer that can throw the crap out of the ball now.
Okay.
They benched that kid.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yes. I can't remember the kid's name.
Mike
the other
Wright.
kids.
You're talking
he's
about
on the bench. He's on the bench now. They don't play him anymore.
He was the dual threat guy, Mike Wright.
Well, he was more of a runner that kind of could throw every now and then.
Okay.
He's out. The other kids are really good thrower of the football. They're playing Alabama?
Yeah.
And what is the line?
41.
Yeah, I'll take Alabama.
God, you're
Vandy's terrible, dude.
You're such a blowout guy. All right, Arkansas plus.
Who did you take?
I took Vanderbilt. Getting the 41. Arkansas plus 2 against Texas A&M. Games in Dallas. Man, I'll tell you right now. I'm sorry, Texas A&M. They're like watching the Pittsburgh Steelers on offense. No quarterback play. I love Arkansas in this game.
And what is the line?
2. They're getting 2. Arkansas.
I'm going to take A&M. The reason is because Arkansas has the worst pass defense in America.
Oh.
They're giving up over like 370 yards in the air. Now, that could be skewed because they played Missouri State, who can throw the heck out of it.
Bobby Petrino.
But I'm going to take the Aggies just to be a little different. We got a text real quick on the Titan More text line from Coy. He says, well, let's just hope that Billy's and AR's doesn't have the same trip the old ball coach at number 9 had their first year in Knoxville. You ain't lying.
Yeah.
Although
I was there.
Well, people
close.
So we're down 7-0, and
close.
We drive in a 2-minute drive.
Yeah.
Throw a corner route to Kirkpatrick, who never dropped a ball in his entire career.
Yeah.
Wide open, he drops it. We would have tied it up. So we kick a field goal. We go in at half at 7-3. And Dale Carter runs the opening kickoff back, and then all hell breaks loose.
And the skies opened up, and all, like you said, all hell broke loose. I was there with you, QB. I couldn't believe Kirk.
Andy, see, I got great statisticians. Yes, the new Vandy quarterback that is a legit thrower of the football, E.J. Swan is his name.
Okay, all right, I'll watch for him.
Look out for him in Tuscaloosa. Be careful. Be careful, Alabama.
Well, that's
EJ
why.
Swan's rolling into town.
Well, that's why I took 41, QB. You went with Alabama.
I know, but EJ Swan's going to throw a bunch of interceptions too. He's young. That's what everybody likes to say, right? If you're young, you throw interceptions.
That's right, if you're young. All right, here's a game where they'd like anybody to just throw something, and that's Auburn is at home, and this could be the beginning of the end, and probably is for Brian Harsin. They're playing Missouri, and I'll tell you right now, if Missouri can't beat Auburn right now when Auburn's two starting quarterbacks, their two best quarterbacks, Zach Calzada and TJ Finley, are both gone. Calzada's probably out for the season with a hand injury. So Missouri's catching 7. And Auburn's going to either start an Oregon Duck transfer named Robbie Ashford or a true freshman named Holden Guringer. I can't see how Auburn scores. I just don't.
Well, the Holden kid is a highly recruited kid.
Yeah,
I'm going to take Missouri getting 7.
So am I.
They both stink.
They're bad teams. Eli better watch his ass because they can't be happy with what they see up there in Missouri. I wouldn't be. We've got the Florida-Tennessee game. I'll give you that here at the end. NFL, 3 games for you. Really good games, QB. The Packers at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is 2-0, but man, they just look ugly at it right now, don't they? Don't they look ugly?
Mm-hmm.
But they are at home, first home opener. I don't know. I don't think Godwin's playing. Green Bay seems to have it going right now. It's hard to pick against Green Bay. That's
How
plus.
are they getting?
They're getting 1 point.
Oh, that makes no sense.
Do you like Tampa?
I definitely like Green Bay then.
You like Green Bay. All right.
That should be Tampa by 6 or 7, you would think.
Well, I think Green Bay's game on Monday got people excited. I don't know why. I'll take Tampa Bay. Give me Tampa Bay. Give me the
Okay, you got Tampa. I got Green Bay.
Jacksonville is catching a touchdown at the Chargers. Obviously, Herbert's issues. Keenan Allen always injured. I like the Jags get 7. I'm probably wrong about that, but I'll take the points against the Chargers.
All right, I'm going to take the San Diego -7, even though Herbert ain't 100%. I don't know if Keenan Allen's playing, but the Jags don't play well out west.
It's true. Buffalo is coming down to Miami, your team, your favorite team, your beloved Bills, laying 5.5 against the Dolphins. Why isn't it more than that, QB?
It's in Miami, correct?
That is right.
Well, that's why Miami's 2-0, correct?
NFL, QB, they don't care where they play, do they? Yeah, it's in Miami. The Dolphins.
Should Buffalo worry about the humidity?
All the players at Buffalo probably played in humidity throughout.
I think Miami may surprise some people here, but I'm going Buffalo.
Of course you are. Of course you are. Give me the Dolphins. Give me the Dolphins. All right. I love NFL teams catching points at home. I do. Decent teams. Tennessee, you can't pick this game, but I will tell you it's a 10.5 line, largest line in 40 years, 10.5. I've got the Vols 38-18 over the Gators.
What did you say the score?
38-18.
How are we going to get 18?
Well, you're going to have two touchdowns, a missed extra point, and 2 field goals.
All right. Before we let you go, we just got a text on the Titan Mar text line from Jason in Pensacola. He says, "Look, I love the fact everybody thinks Florida doesn't stand a baby's chance in a Planned Parenthood office.
Oh, my God.
Perfect opportunity for these Gators to come together under Napier and erase the bad taste of the last 2 weeks. Gators by 3. Okay. P.S. I love JC on the pod, and I love you as always." I don't know who Jason is, but we love you too, Jason.
Look. Hey, I'm rooting for the Gators, man, but I'm going to be realistic about it. I think Tennessee rolls on Saturday. I do. I think they kill it.
Yeah, I hope it's a good game. It's going to be fun. That's a tremendous venue that they'll be at, and boy,
it's loud.
Them boys, they've been waiting on this for a long time.
They have, and the one thing I will tell you is that when they're in this mood and they get going like this, I still maintain, having been there into every other SEC venue in the conference, that is the loudest stadium in the country. That's what I believe. I just do. I mean, it's just as close as the Swamp is to the field, and you've got 25,000 more fans. I mean, how is it not louder? So anyway, that's what I believe. Now, they haven't had a chance to be loud in a long time. They're going to be Saturday. Florida, look, I mean, let's just hope that they hit open receivers. Let's just hope that defensively they try to keep, Tennessee in between the 20s and just see what happens.
Yeah, we got to stay on the field somehow. And
that's right. Yeah, the best defense is a good offense.
Yeah, keeping their offense and frustrating them by us staying on the field would be outstanding. And
Right.
here's the thing: if you do that for like a 6-minute drive, whether you get points or not,
yes.
And then let's just say whether you kick off or you turn or punt it, they run plays so fast. If for whatever reason they get stuffed on the first and they throw 2 incompletions, they haven't even wasted a minute off the clock, and now they're punting it back to you. So,
Sure.
Obviously they got a plan. We have a plan. JC has a plan. We'll see what Billy Napier's plan is, and can we go execute it?
Slow the game down. Slow the game down, QB. You got to slow the game down.
Yeah. All right, JC. We'll talk to you on Monday, my man.
Yep. All right. We'll see you then. Thanks.
All right. We're going to take a timeout. We're going to come back. We'll be joined by Jimmy Hyams up in Knoxville, Tennessee. Get his thoughts on this big rivalry game. You're watching and listening to Pot Up Matthews in the Morning.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Our gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co., Ruse Ogra State Farm Insurance, Doreen Wiebe Realtor Caldwell Banker MM Parish. Our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Okido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, MB Listing, McDonald's of Gainesville, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Avra and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Pro football legend Emmitt Smith understands your joint pain.
It does not surprise me that there are a ton of people out there that's in pain.
That's why Emmitt is such a proponent of QC Kinetics, offering real lasting joint pain relief with non-surgical, all-natural biologic treatments.
Whether it's a joint pain, ankle pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, back pain, hip pain, any kind of pain, the body eventually will break down when it's under that much stress.
That stress can cloud your judgment to the point that you'll just say yes to the scalpel or yes to another prescription of pain pills. But maybe it's time for a second opinion from QC Kinetics.
The reason why I would recommend this is because the natural biologics that QC Kinetics is providing you gives your body a chance to naturally heal itself.
Restorative, regenerative solutions are here. Get lasting relief and live your life.
Call QC Kinetics, 352-400-4550. That's 352-400-4550. QC Kinetics, 352-400-4550.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Chris Doring Mortgage, they do mortgage lending right, helping home buyers throughout Gainesville and North Central Florida. Call Chris Doring Mortgage today at 352-244-0840. We're going to head now to the Titan MR hotline, head up to Knoxville, Tennessee, and we're joined by a longtime sports guy, beat writer, covering the Volunteers, now has his own show up in the Knoxville area, Jimmy Hyams. Good morning, Jimmy. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Shane?
Doing well. All right. So you've been covering the Vols for a long time. Obviously, this used to be the rivalry back in the day, especially in the 90s. It was always usually a top 10 or top 5 matchup. Tennessee struggled lately, but they have a lot of excitement under Josh Heupel right now. Big game with the Gators coming to town. What's the vibe like around Knoxville?
Excitement. The fans are revved up. Gosh, we had a caller yesterday. Tennessee's not only going to win, they're going to win by 20 to 28 points. And I'm thinking, okay, what are you drinking? Don't you know about this series? Don't you know that it doesn't matter whether Tennessee might have the better team over the last 17 years, that Florida typically plays one of its best games of the year against Tennessee? And I think it's going to be a close game. I'm really surprised at the point spread. But, hey, the fans are excited. There's a There's a place called the Shrimp Dock that's selling like 2,000 pounds of gator meat. It's the only week of the year in which they sell gator meat. The game has been sold out. Game day is here. Fans are excited about that. It's an electric atmosphere, and there will be maybe 30 to 40,000 that'll line the Vol Walk 2 hours and 15 minutes before kickoff. So Tennessee folks are revved up for this one.
And they should be. I'm excited to get back to Knoxville. I haven't been there, Jimmy, since my senior year game in 1992. So it's one of the greatest venues in college football. So, well, I played a long time. I didn't have a chance, and now doing color on the radio, I'll be back. So I'm excited to do that. Let's talk about Josh Heupel. In year two, I mean, obviously he's turned the program around. They've had a bunch of coaches since Phil Fulmer. But, you know, when I watch Tennessee, they look different to me. Is it because they're playing offense and it's an exciting type of offense to watch? Is that what the fans like?
Yes. Yeah, they do. Look, when you can score a lot of points, it gives you a chance. When you were running that Jeremy Pruitt offense where you struggled to get to 20 points and you got behind somebody, you didn't have a chance. But with this offense, they set a school record for scoring last year. They averaged 39.3 points. They scored 511 points. This year, they're on pace to score even more. But it's a hurry-up offense. It's an exciting offense. You're going to have a lot of fireworks at the game because Tennessee typically is going to score a lot of points. And he has given the fan base hope. He's given them the thought that, hey, when things are clicking, they can beat just about anybody in the country. So, yeah, he's brought a great excitement to Tennessee because of the offense, because of the effectiveness of the offense. And Shane, when he came here, I thought the offense would be successful, but not to this degree. My definition of success would be averaging about 30 points a game, not 39.3. So it has far exceeded my expectations of what he would be able to do.
Yeah, it's been quite remarkable, and Hendon Hooker's been extremely efficient. His stat line since taking over as the starter with 42 touchdowns and I think 2 interceptions, I've just never heard anything like that. I mean, he's playing at an extremely high level.
He is. He's an extremely good quarterback. He's not projected by some to be the NFL prospect that some other quarterbacks are, but he's a terrific college quarterback. He's really good. I actually had somebody the other day that said, how did Virginia Tech let him get away? But Shane, in my opinion, he would not have done at Virginia Tech what he's doing now because they weren't running the same kind of offense. He's found an offense where he's flourished. He's confident. He is able to use his passing skills, his running skills. He's able to read defenses better as he has continued to play. And to only have the 2 interceptions as a starter and accounting for 42 touchdowns, that is a ridiculous stat line. It's remarkable. He set a school record last year for passing efficiency, set a school record for touchdowns to interception ratio, and he's a very confident player, and he should be. He's also the oldest quarterback to ever start at Tennessee. He's 24 years old, and he carries himself with a maturity that I think permeates throughout this team.
I didn't realize he was that old. Andy has a question on Facebook Live brought to you by Mountain Law. He says, Jimmy, what's the consensus on the Vols' record this year?
The consensus on the Vols' record this year is 8-4. Most people look at Tennessee as losing to Alabama and Georgia. They probably have about 5 50-50 games, and the thought was they'd probably lose a couple of those. Pittsburgh was one of those 50-50 games. Florida's one of those. LSU's one of those. So I think 8-4 is what most is the consensus for the Tennessee record.
When you look at their defense, obviously everybody knows they struggled mightily last year on that side of the football. The sample size is pretty small this year. Really, the only decent opponent they've played is Pitt. Have you seen improvement on that side of the ball, Jimmy?
I have. This is a faster defense. This is a defense that is better at linebacker with Jeremy Banks, Aaron Beasley, and Juwan Mitchell. Juwan Mitchell basically missed all of last season, and he's a speed linebacker. Led Texas in tackles a couple of years ago before transferring to Tennessee. The secondary is suspect. The defensive line, the run defense is okay. It's average. But here's the biggest difference. Say last year, Tennessee gave up 42% on third down conversions. They ranked among the worst in the nation. They were 13th in the SEC in that category. This year, they're yielding 22% third down conversions. That is a significant difference. Now, you're right. The competition has not been great. But against Pittsburgh, they shut Pittsburgh down on third down. So the third down defense is what I would point to, and the speed are the two things I would point to say that I think this defense is better than it was a year ago.
We got a text on the Titan Mark text line here for you, Jimmy. He says, please ask Jimmy about the injuries and the backup receivers. Is Cedric Tillman going to play, you think?
I do not think Cedric Tillman will play. He's not practiced this week. I believe he has a high ankle sprain. I would be surprised if he plays. I think it's a concern. I like Jalen Hyatt. He leads the team in receiving right now, and he had a great game after against Akron after Tillman went out. And then Brew McCoy, a big body receiver, very athletic, good hands. I like him a lot. The problem is I don't see that third receiver. I think that Tillman being out is a huge blow for this offense. I don't know if that third guy is going to be Rumel Keaton, Walker Merrill, maybe Squirrel White. This will be interesting. And you know this, Tennessee has struggled against Florida's press coverage through the years. Receivers having trouble getting off the line of scrimmage. I watched Squirrel White, who's about 5'8" and 160 pounds, going against Tennessee's defensive back in practice in August. Press coverage, they couldn't touch him. They could not stay in front of him. And I'm thinking, if you're Tennessee and Florida goes press coverage, do you use Squirrel White as your third receiver? I don't know. Maybe they go more to the tight end position. I don't know. But they do not have a defined third receiver that you can count on. And that's why I think Tillman not being there is a huge blow to this offense.
Special teams wise, Tennessee had the Colquitts punting for like 20 years straight, it seems like. How have they performed so well so far in the special teams area? Do you think they may have an advantage in Florida in special teams?
I don't know. The place kicker, Chase McGrath, you can count on him. And 50 yards and in, he's money. He's really good. The return game has been average at best. Here's the concern. They got a really good punter in Paxton Brooks. He almost had a punt blocked against Ball State. He had a punt blocked against Pitt. He almost had a punt blocked against Akron. For whatever reason, their punt protection is iffy. They also fumble a punt return against Pitt. And so I don't think Tennessee special teams in those areas are very good. They're good at coverage, punt coverage and kick coverage, but the punting game is scary. I don't know why they're having people break through and almost block punts or block punts like Pitt did, but that's an area of concern. I do not think Tennessee is strong in special teams outside of Chase McGrath. I don't know how to compare it to Florida special teams, to be honest with you, but I would have a hard time seeing Tennessee have an edge in that category.
Last thing for you, Jimmy. Florida's been struggling stopping the run. I think USF ran for like 286 yards last week. We sat here and just talked about the Tennessee wide receivers. We know Hendon Hooker, they like to throw the football, but they also like to run it. Who are some of the running backs? Do you think they can take advantage? And do you think Josh Heupel will try to run the football in this Florida defense?
Yeah, I think he'll try to run it. The thing that I noticed about South Florida is their quarterback, Bohannon, ran for over 100 yards. I wouldn't be surprised to see Hendon Hooker be more a focal point of the run game, keeping the football. Jabari Small is Tennessee's lead running back, although he has not performed that well this year, to be honest with you. He hurt his shoulder on the second snap against Akron. He has been limited in practice. I expect him to play. He's a guy that had injury concerns a year ago. He gained 15 pounds to help his durability, but so far that hasn't panned out. Jalen Wright's been their best running back. He's not very big. He's a speed guy, and he can hit the hole quickly on those zone reads. I expect him to probably be Tennessee's most productive back against Florida. The third back is Dylan Sampson, a freshman. He also got hurt in the Akron game, and he was limited to practice. If I'm Florida, I'm stacking the line of scrimmage and saying, hey, you're going to have to beat me throwing the football, and I'm going to try to shade toward Hyatt and McCoy and see if that third receiver can beat me. But I think Tennessee, they're a run-first team in the spread that they use. They averaged 217 yards rushing the game last year. Their offensive line's okay, nothing special. None of the running backs are special either. But I do think they will try to run it, and I would look for Hendon Hooker to keep the ball probably more often than he has in previous games.
We just got a text here from Jonathan on the Titan More text line. He wants to know, what is the latest status on the NCAA stuff going on with Tennessee?
NCAA stuff?
Yeah, I guess he's referring
there has
to
been no
Jeremy
update
Pruitt.
on it. Tennessee has, I don't even know that they've responded yet. They had 90 days to respond. I'm surprised they haven't already. It's not like they didn't know this was coming down the pike. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think Tennessee is self-imposing some scholarship limits. I do not think the NCAA will give a postseason ban. They've shied away from all that stuff. I think there's a chance that the NCAA could maybe limit some visits and maybe add a couple of scholarship reductions. But that's it. I do not see any significant penalties in that regard. But I tell you what, after looking at what happened with James Craig, the former LSU offensive line coach who got a 3-year show cause, if I'm Jeremy Pruitt, I'm scared to death. James Craig violated one rule as far as I could see. And Pruitt was guilty of about 17. So I got a feeling Jeremy Pruitt may get hit really hard in this deal.
Didn't you have the head ball coach on your show and he took another shot at Tennessee this week?
We had him on the show. He took a shot at Florida.
Oh, at Florida.
He said, hey, you guys up at Rocky Top, y'all got it going. He said, down here, we're still trying to throw a touchdown pass. He said, we used to, you got any suggestions? He said, that used to be pretty easy down here, but we haven't been able to figure that out.
That's hilarious. Well, Jimmy, we appreciate you taking the time. Let everybody know how they can listen to your program up in Knoxville.
Well, you can catch us by going to 991thesportsanimal.com, so you can get us on the internet. You can also hear us on iHeartRadio. We write a blog, so you can catch our blogs on our website. We write 2 or 3 a week. I've written a couple. In fact, I wrote a long piece on Steve Spurrier, the interview we had with him. So, and if you're in the area, if your dial can find 99, you'll get us. 990 AM, 99.1 FM.
Good stuff as always, buddy. Appreciate it, and we'll see you up there in Knoxville, Jimmy.
Thank you, Shane. Look forward to seeing you. You take care.
That's Jimmy Hyams joining us on the Titan More Hotline. Going to take our final time out, come back, get to more text and Facebook Live reads. You're watching and listening to Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Our gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co., Ruse Ogra State Farm Insurance, Doreen Wiebe Realtor Caldwell Banker MM Parish. Our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Okido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, MB Listing, McDonald's of Gainesville, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Avra and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit podupwithshane.com and click the advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Pro football legend Emmitt Smith understands your joint pain.
It does not surprise me that there are a ton of people out there that's in pain.
That's why Emmitt is such a proponent of QC Kinetics, offering real lasting joint pain relief with non-surgical, all-natural biologic treatments.
Whether it's a joint pain, ankle pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, back pain, hip pain, any kind of pain, the body eventually will break down when it's under that much stress.
That stress can cloud your judgment to the point that you'll just say yes to the scalpel or yes to another prescription of pain pills. But maybe it's time for a second opinion from QC Kinetics.
The reason why I would recommend this is because the natural biologics that QC Kinetics is providing you gives your body a chance to naturally heal itself.
Restorative, regenerative solutions are here. Get lasting relief and live your life.
Call QC Kinetics, 352-400-4550. That's 352-400-4550. QC Kinetics, 352-400-4550.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Celebration points where the Gators go to celebrate with premium brands like Escape Apology, F45 Training, Regal Cinemas, Dave & Buster's, Nike Prime and Pro, and the HBC's restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, now selling Het Beer Coach American Lager in 16-ounce cans. You can get that at Spurrier's, Visor's Rooftop, or at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. We'll see you at Celebration Point, where the Gators go to celebrate. I want to thank JC and Jimmy Hyams for taking their time to join the program. Jimmy's been covering the Vols for a long, long time. Andy says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon, says, Dan said this. Sounds like the HBC is not too happy about no passing TDs. It's hard to believe, folks. It really is. There's only 3 teams left in all of football that have not thrown a touchdown pass. It's the Gators, the Bulls of South Florida, and the Rainbows of Hawaii. 3 teams. Even the dang naval, the military academies, the Air Force, the Armies, and Navy have thrown touchdown passes, believe it or not. And he says third quarter's been brutal for us this year. I'm sure Billy will do something different on Saturday. Yeah, it's been brutal. Yeah, I agree. It's not from a scheme or making adjustments. We've just been outplayed. G asks, who's the oldest QB to play at Florida? I don't know the answer to that. Chris Winkie was like 27 or 28 when he won the Heisman at Florida State. We got 3 college football games tonight for your viewing pleasure. Virginia and Syracuse, Nevada and Air Force, Boise State and UTEP. And then a full slate tomorrow. Gators kick off at 3:30 on CBS. It'll be a long game, folks, because it's on CBS. If you don't want to hear Gary Danielson and I can't even remember who he does it with now, Brad Nessler, tune in to us and listen to myself and Sean on the call with Tate Casey and Cardozo and the crew. Should be a lot of fun. Andy says Doug Johnson was our oldest quarterback. May have been because I think, well, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I think I was 22 my senior year. Does that sound right? Yeah, I got here. I was 17 when I got on campus. So anyway, we had another text that came through. Let's see who it's from. Oh, it's from Jason in Pensacola. Just wanted to thank us for reading his text on air. Andy asks, will Kitna take a snap? I got a feeling he might. I think it depends on how the first couple series go. But all reports are that he's thrown the ball really well in practice this week. We shall see. Maybe just for a change of pace. But I think Billy and the coaches have put together a good plan. Now, whether we can come out of there with a victory, we shall see. But college football, man, just you go back and you watch Mississippi State at LSU last week. Mississippi State was the better team going in. I still think they're the better team. They dominated the game, but one fumbled punt turned that game around. Could Tennessee, you heard Jimmy talk about, they're having punt protection issues. They fumbled some punts. Could a special teams play sway the game to the Gators' momentum? So it will be fun. It'll be a tremendous atmosphere. I think it's cool that Tennessee thinks they're back. We don't know if they're back or not, but just having them somewhat relevant and excited is great for college football and for the SEC, whether you like it or not. Tennessee's a great venue. The checkerboard end zones, the Rocky Top being played, it's just part of college football. I know a lot of Gator fans can't stand it. I love that kind of stuff from all the different teams around the league. It's just what makes college football. So hopefully we don't hear Rocky Top being played that often, maybe in pregame warm-up and maybe when they run out of at halftime. So, but it should be a lot of fun. And we had a text here from Larry before we get out of here. He says, Shane, do you ride on the team plane? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So we'll be leaving later this afternoon and fly in, go to the hotel, have a dinner, get up, watch a few games, head to the stadium, play the game, get on the plane, and head back home. So should be a quick turnaround. Hopefully it'll be a victorious weekend for the Gators. Hope you enjoyed today's program. we'll see you on Monday and recap what happens. Take care, folks.